Okay guys, we're back for what I'm hoping is going to be the final, at least indoor part of this video, and we're doing the protection sand for the outer perimeter of my home. And so I have a couple of things that I'm using it for: protection, psychic awareness and heightening those abilities, infertility, what else? Invisibility, and protection from thieves, and passion, both in relationships and between parent and child and in jobs. So there's five or six things I'm addressing there, and in the previous videos I've shown you the list. But now I'm going to actually show you how we're going to take care of this sand, okay? So the sand that we've started to make already, I'm going to tip down here. Okay, the sand that we've started to make already, I've got with pictures of my family that I've been looking at and kind of focusing and meditating on those. And then I've got all the things that we mixed up. I just haven't actually mixed them all together yet. The sand's at the bottom. All the layers are in there. So check out the previous video and watch me put this together. And now I'm going to show you how I'm going to be blessing this. Also, I felt like it needed a little bit more of my black witch's salt, so I'm going to be adding a little bit more of that. And now would be a good time to figure out, like, if you need more sand or not, okay? This sand, like we did in the first video, is already blessed by the moonlight. We've already burned a candle in it. We've already burned intentions into it. And then back here, you can see that I've got my candle magic going for this whole entire spell. Everything that I have intentions in this is written on this candle. So in the first video, we talk about that. And this poppy is here because it's an ingredient that I didn't have to put in the bowl, but I'm using it as a different kind of magic. No, it's not an actual herb, but it's still doing magics. I'm looking at it. The whole visual intent is there. Also, something that I really like to do before I put my hands over something and I put intention or I bless it, something I really like to do is put rose water onto my hands, and especially with this because there's passion and romance involved. Okay, I put a little bit of that on my third eye and then I just let it drip down wherever, my arms, my dress, it doesn't matter. It just makes you smell absolutely lovely all day. So, rose water, you can get it at your grocery store. You can make your own. That would be even more special. And then another ingredient that I'm going to be adding to this, we did the black witch's salt, is I've activated some mandrake root, and I'm going to read from Scott's book really quick on how to do that. This is what I'm reading from Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia for Magical Herbs, which is how I've made this whole spell, besides a couple of ingredients which were based on intuition, practical magic, and what I have used myself. So when we talk about activating the mandrake root, a dried mandrake root, to bring its powers out of hibernation, place it in some prominent location in the house and leave it there undisturbed for 3 days. So a mantle would be a great place, or a living room window, any of that. Then place it in warm water and leave overnight, which I activated this last night. Well, yesterday afternoon, really. Afterwards, the root is activated and may be used in any magical practice. The water in which the root has bathed can be sprinkled at the windows or the doors of a house to protect it, okay? So I'm going to be taking the mandrake out of here, the pieces, and putting it into my protection. I'm adding it last because it's wet. And then the water that's left behind, I'm going to sprinkle in my doorways and my windows of my house so that I'm completely protected from the inside out and the outside in, okay? And that's something that I just love about mandrake root, because let me add this as well. The magical, the powers are protection, fertility, money, love, and health. And in general, the mandrake root can be used for almost an all-purpose, you know, almost like mugwort, or like I've been learning more about mistletoe as well. Can be just like such a all-purpose witchy herb. So make sure, guys, so this is what mandrake root looks like when you get a big jar of it and it's dry. And then we do the preparation we just talked about. And it is a poison, okay? It's poisonous, so please don't touch it with your hands. Also, when I activated this and when I put the warm water over it, you can see on the top, I did candle magic on the top of this. I melted some wax in here, stuck the candle on, and I had written my intention, okay? And on the side of this white candle, because white is purity all-purpose, to bless this in, I said, this mandrake is now human. That's what a mandrake root wants. All it wants us to do is to come from the plant world into the human world and to be an actual physical human. When the plant grows, if it grows past 5 to 7 years, it forms, it has limbs, it has a torso, it has a face, it has genitals, like, it wants to be a human. This is a powerful herb. So, I said this mandrake is now human. It's going to help me. It's going to assist me. It appreciates the fact that I've called it a human. Believe me, these things are really powerful. They're really fantastic. So, it always looks kind of funny, the water, when you open it up. And I think that's kind of cool. And it smells really dusky. Like a weird brewery or a tea. See that as some activated mandrake. I'm going to show you that. It's big pieces. Yeah, they're happy babies, I can tell. Happy babies. Okay, so just get the chunks out and let the water drip in, because I'm going to use that in my windows in my home and my doorways to cleanse from the inside out. And if there's any chunks left behind, they just aren't meant to be, you know? So you can leave them, but mandrake root, not just a legend in cinema. A very, very witchy item. It's just hard to get your hands on. So if you need to find out where to get it, I just don't like to advertise big companies, because why do they need the advertising? Just message me. I'd rather chat with you guys anyway, you know? Okay. So here's the water with just tiny bits of root at the bottom that I'll be throwing in my doorways with rubber gloves. You know, you don't want to let that touch your hands. Hence the tongs. So if I do a video where you get to see me take my basket around with all this sand and go and bless my house, I'll actually show you me throwing this on the doorways as well. But that would make a part 5 of just this one full moon series video. So I don't know. Do you guys want to see that? I'll do it. But I have a ticking time, because look, I've got to do it before the end of the night at least, because I work all day tomorrow, and this is going to be gone in a day and a half. So that's kind of the thing when you set a candle magic. Like, it's really nice to know, like, okay, I've got to get this done by when, and you can see it. But if you leave for a day and you come back and your candle's out, to me, that's a huge bummer. And I feel like sometimes I have to start all over, but sometimes I just feel like it's okay, you know? It's all going to be fine. So just go with your intuition on how you feel on that. And I want to say that now is a cool time to just add more of this, like, moon blessed sand. Okay, and then the rest of the sand I'm going to put back in my jar after the video, but I don't feel like I need to jar it up right now. And then I'm going to wrap that up and take it out of the sunlight altogether and put it back in the closet behind me and keep the moonlight in there if I can. And I re-bless this every month that I want to. If I feel like there's a month that's not been a great month, I don't re-bless it in that full moon, to be quite honest. That's why some of my full moon blessed things say April, August, September. And it's like, where'd you get that? And it's like, well, because those 3 months in there were just kind of crazy with that whole, like, retrograde and everything, you know. Who knows? So, there are poisonous things in here, so let's not use our hands. And also, you saw me in the last video blowing my intention out of the cinnamon stick onto the sands and all the herbs. At this point, I've now put mandrake on top of it. I can't be doing that anymore. I'm just going to throw this in here, and I'm going to take out my oyster shell, and I'm going to take out my amethyst. And I ended up finding that rosemary. It was just on the ground when I went to tidy up in between. And I'm going to hold my intention over the top, okay? Because I can't touch these things. So I need to try and push my energy. I'm going to put my belly here. I'm going to hold my hand over the top and then bring this other hand around and stir, okay? And if you feel like putting on music and doing a little witchy dance around this, I mean, that's what I do a lot of the time. I introduced you guys to a little bit of that. Some of you liked it, and some of you not so much, and I appreciate all of that, you know. I'm definitely going to bring in music from time to time, but not every time. I just want to make this channel, like, so you can understand all the things that you can do that you've already been doing your whole life to make you feel happy and good about these kinds of things. And now you can just tie it in all together where you're like, I didn't have to ditch anything I loved, you know, and it's all right here. That's my favorite. So, I just want to show you, like, what this is looking like. By the way, it smells so good. The cumin does smell like your Abuela's pork. So yummy. Marigolds in there, those ferns for invisibility, the oyster shells, the sand, the garlic papers, the bay, the... Holy smokes, the rose petals. I mean, this is tingling my fingertips holding over the top of it. This is vibrating energy. And I hope that you get to feel that, you know, in your same note. So, I might do one last just slash of my symbol. And then I'm going to hold as much intention over this as I can before I take it outside and lay it onto the ground. So, fast forward through that because we're not going to do a video of me holding intention for half of an hour, right? Make sure you have your family members, the people in the house that you want to keep blessed into this. You have that for your visualization. And, you could do another candle into this, but here's the thing. If you put it in now, it will catch fire on this stuff. So it's not safe at this point. That's why I did it in the sand when it was just the sand alone. The candle will just turn into nothing and just be that. But when you do candle magic, it's, and you carve your intention into the side of the candle, you want to make sure it's stated as it's already happened. And that you just carve it in with something, you know, sharp down the edge of the candle so that your guides can read it. It doesn't have to be perfectly legible, but I mean, our guides get confused pretty easily, I think, from what I understand, so just to make it as easy as we can for them. Also, the very last thing is I want to show you how I'm going to prepare this to take it outside. I've just got some non-bleached parchment paper, wax paper. just going to place it 2 ways in here. If you wanted to be more discreet about what's in your basket, get a taller basket. You know, it doesn't matter. This one's bigger, so it looks about the size of the bowl, you see. That's why I chose this one. Heck, I don't know. Could you even put the bowl in there? You can. I'm totally doing that. Okay, so you can either do the lining 2 ways and then pour the whole thing in. But this is way less messy and so much more pretty. And it just worked out to be so perfect. Okay, see that? You know what I could even do too? Since there's a little gap in between, you could put some crystals in between your herbs in the basket to just like charge up the herbs below. Any of those would be great ideas. So I think now I'm going to attempt to take you guys outside and show you my garden again and how I'll take this around the perimeter of my whole place. I have one grumpy neighbor and one very curious neighbor, so I mean, like, I might not be able to show you the whole thing, but at least a little bit, right? This has been my favorite video so far, like the full moon series, really. I'm really enjoying this, and I hope that you guys are too. If you need mandrake in your life, let me know, and I'll help you get it in your life. It's not too difficult. Alright guys, really excited to show you how I'm going to splatter this in my doorway, sprinkle this in my doorways to keep me protected from the inside out, and then show you how I put this around the perimeter of my home to protect me from the outside in. Thanks you guys.